Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Leonardo. One day while making myself pasta for dinner, my stepmother called me for help from the front door. "Leonardo, come here quick!" I removed the pasta from the stove and hurried quickly to see what she needed. She had just arrived from her shopping trip holding 1,000,000 bags. 3 taxis are waiting outside to be unloaded. Go get those shopping bags. Chop chop. They don't have all day. Every time my dad got his paycheck, my stepmom would go shopping and spend every penny. She bought so much stuff, she had to take several taxis home to carry it all. My stepmother is a shopaholic who buys things uncontrollably. It's a severe mental health issue. Compulsive buying disorder is the medical term for it. She gets anxiety attacks when she doesn't shop. Her face gets flushed and her palms get sweaty. She starts pacing around the house panicked. My dad has taken her to see so many doctors over the years. They all diagnosed her as a shopaholic. However, my stepmom refuses treatment each time, saying, "I'm not sick. I just like shopping like any other woman." To support her bad habits, she needs money. My poor father has to work 3 jobs to support her spending. My dad is a barber by day, a hotel receptionist by night, and a weekend flea market vendor. He has to work every single day of the week so that my stepmom can keep shopping. After bringing all her new shopping bags inside, I shuffled back to the kitchen to finish making dinner. My dad came home just as I sat down to eat. He looked exhausted. There were black circles under his eyes. I felt terrible for him. When he saw me, he closed his eyes and gave me a smile. "This smells so good. Don't tell me. I'll guess the ingredients from the smell. This is pasta pomodoro," he said. Of course, he was right. "Did you make your grandmother's or your mother's recipe?" he asked. "My mom's recipe, of course. She was the one who taught me how to cook. I always follow her recipes." "Ready to dig in?" I asked. My dad replied, "Nah, I'll get a snack at the hotel. I just came home for a change of clothes." He turned and left me alone in the kitchen. We lost my mom when I was 12. Our family is originally from Italy. My mother used to cook traditional dishes at home every day of the week. As a small kid, I used to find cooking rather dull. Mom taught me otherwise. She would say, "These dishes are a gift from our ancestors. We need to pay our respects to them by passing these recipes to the next generation." She taught me how to cook, and I memorized every recipe by heart. 3 years after my mom passed away, my dad remarried. Unlike my mom, my stepmom never cooks. She always orders out, which usually isn't a problem since I cook for myself. I make the fabulous dishes my mom passed on to me. When I walked into the kitchen, I saw my dad making an omelet one morning. He served it to me saying, "This might not be as good as the ones you make, but it's not so bad either." He then collapsed on the floor suddenly. "Dad! Dad!" I yelled as I jumped up from my seat. I called 911 immediately, doing my best not to panic as I told them what had happened. The ambulance arrived minutes later, and the paramedics took my dad away. As I was getting ready to leave, my stepmom woke up from her nap upstairs. "What's going on? You made such a racket. I couldn't sleep because of you," she complained. I told her what had happened. Can you guess the first thing she said? "But he has to go to work. If he can't work, you should start looking for a job." I got so mad I didn't say anything to her. I rushed to the hospital as soon as possible and found out how my father was doing. When I made it there, Dad was just waking up. The doctor said his immune system was on the verge of collapse because of extreme fatigue. He was ordered to stop any physical activity and rest for at least 3 months to recover fully. When we got back home, my stepmom found out my dad wouldn't be able to work for the next 3 months, and she was furious. She turned to me screaming, "You're not going to school anymore. Find a job and get to work. I need money. I need a lot of money." My stepmom began having a panic attack, overwhelmed by the need to go shopping. She snatched the last few bills from my dad's wallet and ran out. I started looking for a job the next day. I applied at a pizza place and landed an interview. Thanks to my mom, I landed the job. The restaurant owner tasked me with making pizza dough during the interview. He was so impressed with how I handled the dough that he said, "You were born to do this, my friend," and he hired me on the spot. My stepmom took all of my money at the end of the first month. After counting it, she said, "Is this it? You'd better find a second job where you can work nights so I can maintain our standard of living." When he heard this, my dad responded, "You're the reason why I got sick. I'm not going to let you do the same thing to Leonardo. Leave him alone." "Oh, shut up. If you're not making money, then your son will. Who else is going to take responsibility?" she growled. I loved my job. My boss was a great guy. One day I asked him, I have a special pizza recipe that my mom taught me. I'd like to make one for you and see if you'd like to put it on the menu. My boss loved the idea.
Sure, but I have a condition. How about we name the pizza after your mama, so that her name will live on,
he replied. Thus, Pizza Sofia was born, and soon after, it became everyone's favorite. One night, I brought a whole Pizza Sofia pie home for my dad. My dad got emotional while eating it.
So good. It's as if your mom made it. I love it,
he said. When my stepmom found out about the story behind the pizza, she was jealous. What kind of a name is Pizza Sofia? She grabbed my dad's pizza and threw it away. That pizza belongs in the trash. I'm sure it tastes like it too. She was totally wrong, of course. Pizza Sofia had become the signature pizza at the restaurant. Soon everyone knew about it. People came from all over just to order one. There was a long line in front of the restaurant all day long. One evening, after handing me my paycheck, my boss said,
"This is your last one."
I was shocked. Are you firing me? I asked. He took out a piece of paper with partnership agreement written on it.
No, I'm making you my partner. This is your success story, not mine. You're not going to get a paycheck anymore. You'll get to keep half of the money we make, and we'll change the restaurant's name to Pizza Sofia. What do you say, partner? He asked.
I was even more surprised when I heard the pizzeria was making thousands of dollars every day. If I were to become a partner, it would mean that I'd be rich. I was so happy when I came home, but was surprised to see my father wasn't there. I asked my stepmom where he'd gone. He went to work. How am I supposed to maintain our lifestyle with your meager paycheck? We simply need more money, she said. You have no heart. My dad isn't strong enough to go back to work. You're going to make him sick again, I screamed. I ran to the barber shop where my dad worked. He was sitting on a chair when I walked in, his face chalk white. Dad, why did you come here? You were supposed to be resting, I said.
You're right, son. I came here because your stepmom gave me a hard time, but I collapsed as I was trying to cut a customer's hair, he replied.
I took my dad to the hospital immediately. The doctor did a thorough examination.
It's better for him to stay here for a while. He needs special care, but the insurance doesn't cover it. Though, he can choose to stay home if cost is a concern, said the doctor.
I was suddenly thankful that money wasn't an issue anymore. I can pay for it. Please, do whatever is necessary, I replied. After closing the restaurant each night, I would visit my dad at the hospital. To my relief, he was getting better day by day. As the business grew, I bought a lovely house for myself. After spending most of my free time visiting my dad, I would return to my own place. One night at the hospital, I saw my stepmom in my dad's room. She didn't see me behind her. Enough with this illness! Get up and get to work! I can't keep living like some pauper. I'm leaving you if you don't start working by tomorrow. I was so sad for my dad, but there was nothing I could do. I left the hospital without either of them seeing me. This was something they needed to figure out between themselves. Finally, the time came for my dad to be discharged from the hospital. That morning, he said to me, "Son, I told your stepmother that I wanted a divorce. I need a place to stay while our case gets reviewed." This was the best news. Of course, Dad! You can stay with me forever. I picked up my father in my brand new sports car, eager to move my dad into our new home. My stepmom arrived as we were about to leave the hospital parking lot. She must have just found out my dad was being discharged. When she saw the car, her eyes went wide. "Is this yours?" she asked. I nodded, smiling. "You couldn't possibly afford something like this on a pizza cook's paycheck," she said. She then turned to my dad. "You told me you wanted a divorce, but I'm sure you did that only because you were angry in the moment. Let's go back home and have a nice dinner. Let's be a family together," she said. My dad and I looked at each other before we burst into laughter. She obviously thought she was giving the performance of her life, but she was such a lousy actor we couldn't help but laugh.
"I was dead serious," my dad said. "I'm going to live with my son from now on."
"That's wonderful," she said with a fake laugh. "Leonardo has a house too? Clearly you two have a lot of money now. I can manage it for the two of you. Give your new house the care and polish it deserves." He got into the car without saying a word. As we were leaving, she was still pleading. "Wait, honey, please. We can sort this out. I love you. I promise we can make it work. But I need money to give us the life we deserve." After that day, I never saw my stepmom again. My dad says she texts him regularly saying, "Let's be a family again. I'll get treatment. I will get rid of my shopping addiction. If she were telling the truth, I'd consider helping her. But we all know her history of manipulation. Maybe learning to take care of herself is exactly what she needs to get better.